and my mom, peeked over my shoulder, and I just remember she started exclaiming, like, "Oh my God, my child can draw!" And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Homer Simpson was your first real comic art creation? Ashley, tell me about your influences and what spurred your interest in getting into comics.
I love the storytelling in comics and video games and movies, and so that really inspired me. I've always had an affinity for drawing, and so, it was just like a natural path, that I took on. As far as video games are concerned, I was really into RPGs, my first one being Final Fantasy VI, and I remember getting that on Christmas of '94, and when I first got it, I didn't understand it because it was all these layers to it, but I didn't want to give up on it, so I tried it, playing it. I tried playing it again a year later, and I was just like really, really inspired. So that's basically the beginning of it all.
When did you realize that you had a specific talent for drawing? Because lots of kids like to draw when they're younger, but a lot of them aren't very good. When did you discover that, oh wow, I'm actually pretty good at this?
Maybe around 6 or 7, I drew Homer Simpson, and I was just casual about it. And my mom, peeked over my shoulder, and I just remember she started exclaiming, like, "Oh my God, my child can draw!" And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Homer Simpson was your first real comic art creation?
Well, no, I was really into Barbie, so most likely Barbie was my first creation. But as far as my mom or anybody outside of myself recognizing, like, okay, she actually has some type of talent, that was the first time I remember being complimented.
It's interesting to me. You talk about how video games really inspired you and influenced you to get into art, and now I look and I see I'm picturing some of the artwork that you do, and you see the anime influence in some of the facial expressions and some of the angles that you take, especially. You came up with the concepts for a lot of the characters in Lady Castle, and you've drawn the covers for several issues. Talk about working on that series with Delilah Dawson.
It was just an amazing experience. Delilah, she's awesome. I haven't met her yet, but we've spoken online a few times, and just really cool chick. I really liked her scripts. When I first read the issue 1 for Lady Castle, I thought it was very clever because, okay, this is a tale for all ages, and it's like, how do you keep it interesting for people in different walks of life, for adults and children alike? And what I think is so clever about it is it's not preachy. Each issue deals with the main characters, Merinor, Aeve, and her younger sister, Gwyneth. Each issue deals with the characters trying to figure out a non-violent way to dealing with the monsters in whatever chaos that they're creating. And so not only is it not preachy, but it actually doesn't take itself too seriously and has some pretty innovative ways to their problem solving.
Something else I like about Lady Castle is that it really subverts the tropes of the fantasy genre. The women are the heroines of the story, and the men are secondary characters in a lot of ways. So is it fun for you to work on something like this, to create a story that is inspirational in a lot of ways for the female fans who will be reading it?
Yeah, Lady Castle surprised me mainly because of the quote-unquote king, who happens to be a female. Her name is Merinor, and she actually starts off as a blacksmith. And her husband, who's also a blacksmith, they shared the shop together, and he was among the other men that, well, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, the men just don't come back after a certain mission, so it's left upon the women to make do and I guess take on other roles outside of their stereotypical roles. When you're drawing a character, you have to almost, drawing is like dealing with acting. You have to kind of tap into the persona of these different characters. So, going from designing her to drawing her, in the comic pages, I'm trying to not just draw her likeness, but I want the readers to feel her essence. You know, I tried to bring the script alive, you know, in that way. So let's look at her haircut, for example. For the most part, she has a shaven head with like a little poof of hair. I wanted her to look tough, but at the same time still feminine. So I try to like highlight those qualities.